Morning, everyone. Yeah, so I'm actually, this is my first time to share in this platform, so I'm kind of like a bit nervous about it. Yeah, so today I'll be sharing my story about the journey of Tzu Chi, and then actually the seeds of love. That's the essence of this sharing. So, good night, everyone, for this morning sharing. I'm so blessed to have this opportunity to share my story. Yeah, so actually, during my younger days, I actually, my dad was the sole breadwinner for a family of 6. So my mom was extremely thrifty to ensure that we had like 3 meals. However, when it comes to like donation, lending a giving hand and smiley face, she never hesitated. And she's always like said to me that we may not be rich, but we are more fortunate to have a house to stay and have 3 meals together. There are unfortunate people who may not have the how should I say, to have this opportunity to have such necessity. As my mom was in poor health, she was worried that she wouldn't walk her journey for long. Hence, she had trained me to be independent, take care of myself and family, and be able to manage the household chores and financials since the age of 5 or 6. At that age, I didn't understand my mom's kind of intention. I felt that she didn't really love me as compared to my friends, because most people would have the play time and then to do things that they like. So at that point of time, I didn't really understand. But now, as I reminisce the old days, I realized that my subconsciousness contained the seeds of love through my mom's tiny acts and the importance of 勿以小善而不为. Yes. So this brings next to the next sharing that I would like to have. Yeah, this is like the kind gestures that we could actually easily practice in our daily life. So as I progress into adulthood, entering the corporate world, I grew to be an unfriendly person. I realized that kindness may not be appreciated most of the time, especially if your kind effort may be viewed to put your team and bosses in a how should I say, disadvantage position from their view. But however, I'm grateful that my mom grew me to be a well-mannered person, and the fundamentals of goodwill, kindness remains. For instance, it's easy for me to smile to others and then and say thank you, and for like taking leave in how should I say, buildings in Singapore, especially in the city area, right? Buildings are usually very high, and then during rush hours, people tend to, how should I say, they just want to get to the office as soon as possible. So usually people will just press on the close button immediately when they enter. But for me, I think likewise, because I think sometimes, especially when it's close to the office hours, people get very nervous and then they just want to quickly get into the leave. So usually I will just hold and wait for people to enter until like the leave is almost full. Then I'll just release the whole button. And I think I do have a pair of like listening ears when it comes to people who want to pour their sorrows or their feelings with me. So, and then there's one tiny thing that I used to be hesitant to do, which is like to buy tissue paper from the auntie uncles who will go around the food center, as I feel that those few packets of tissue papers are very expensive to buy. However, there was once I saw an auntie who was limping with a small trolley of tissue paper. At that moment, I just felt that she was so pitiful, and that when I started to have a change in mindset, I felt, sometimes these auntie uncles, they may be in difficult situations that didn't allow them to have like a full-time job. Hence, they have to sell this tissue paper. So this could be their form of so-called salary. So yeah, that's how I actually start to do such kind of like tiny gesture of kind thoughts. Then I realized that accumulation of like simple kind thoughts and acts often soften up the heart and then lead to the rise in compassion. So this leads to the realization of cruelty in myself. Year 2016, I actually had a new TV, then because the old one was spoiled, then it has this YouTube function, so it actually starts to like stream YouTube videos. And then I think it was like just on the first few occasions of streaming, then it started to stream about animal farming and then about the production of like dairy products, eggs, etc. And I realized that, oh my God, the animals are so cute, yet it's so cruel of me to be eating them. So then there starts this tiny thought that just pop up in my mind. I told myself that I need to adopt a vegan diet as soon as possible. So I tried to clear the fridge with whatever residual that I still have. So at that point of time, I think I still have some fish in there, but thankfully, almost very little fish in there, very little meat in there. Then actually, at that point of time, I was a bit hesitant about it because I don't know if my dad can follow the same diet. So I didn't actually tell my dad. But my dad was kind of, I think maybe because we are so close, so my dad actually can feel what I want to do. So he just told me that there was just one day he just told me that, hey, stop cooking the fish. He said the fish is so singwei, doesn't like it. So then I had the idea of like cooking vegetarian food for my dad to try out. And my dad tried out on the first time, and I feel that he's trying to encourage me. Just say that, oh, it's so nice. So you can continue cooking. So then that was when I started to have vegan diet for the rest of my life. Yeah, so yeah, that's how it started. And then just having this diet for a few months only, then I started to have, a lot of very, how should I say, I think it's kind of affinity to me, because that's when I started to have like, having, affinity to get closer to Tzu Chi. So there it goes, like this. So when I was doing a solo trip to Taiwan in 2007, there was once when I was staying in a hotel and I was just being bored. So I was just tuning into some channels on TV, and then I started watching I chanced upon a YouTube thriller about this Thai drama, which is The Garden of Life. So I saw this thriller that was like so, how should I say, I was so interested in it. I want to find out more about this drama because it looks so interesting to me. And then, yeah, I thought that it's touching. That's what I felt. So, and I was lucky during that year, I had a few short trips to Taiwan. And then I started searching for this drama like crazy because I couldn't find it at any of the stalls. And there was once when I was staying at a small hotel, I told the staff that I'm searching for this drama. So the staff was actually very nice and kind. So he actually offered to help me to search for this drama. So he searched for it, and then he found that it's from Thai. So he actually helped me to connect, and then there it goes. Then I made a trip down to Jingsi Cafe at Zhongzhen Jimian to buy this CD or rather DVD at the point of time. So then I think I was really very lucky because on the day that I bought it, right, the sisters at Jingsi Cafe shared with me that the next day there's a charity concert going on, which is to raise funds for the refugees in Syria. So I thought that since I was like so free, nothing to do, or rather because when it comes to solo travel, you just can do anything that you like. So I attended the charity concert. So that was when I think my symptom starts to be lighted up. And from just attending this concert, I think just for about an hour or so, I actually realized that I had this thinking that oh, 见苦知福要惜福. So I felt that I was so blessed to be in Singapore. And at that point of time, even though my work was kind of like, keeping me very busy and stressed, but I still felt that I'm so blessed to have a job and then to have income and everything. Yeah, so that was when I think this concert really, how should I say, it just helped me with so much connection with Tzu Chi. That's what I felt. Yeah. Then next, after returning to Singapore, so I was so excited. I just immediately when I landed in Singapore, then I just quickly opened up the DVD and then I started watching this drama for a few days. Then I had some thoughts about it because at that point of time, my dad had actually retired for a few years. And then at that point of time, he was still very healthy and well. And I realized that he was old. So being old wasn't at the top of my mind because he was still at that point of time he was really still very well, and then he just, how should I say, when somebody is like well, you just don't really, how should I say, you don't really I don't really know how to say it, but yeah, when somebody is well, you just don't have that urgency. Yeah, and then so thankfully to this drama, so I actually had the thought that I want to spend more time with him. Yeah, and because of the love from this father in this drama, I felt that my dad had really done a lot for us. Like, he worked he worked till long hours just to bring in income to support us, especially when I was still young. My other's brother was still in university, so needed quite a lot of money to, for his university fees. Yeah. So then, and then because I felt that my dad wasn't really living a fulfilling life. So thankfully to this drama, I started to have some thoughts to think of ways to help my dad to live a fulfilling life. So, yeah. Next, so in 2018, I watched the news and then I saw that there was earthquake in Hualien. So I was actually very concerned because from the charity concert, I actually get to know a few friends in Taiwan. So then I actually kept in contact with them. So I actually asked them, were they affected by the earthquake? So then, I don't know why. I just had the thought that I shall visit Taiwan soon again. So then in May, I actually visited my friend, and then she's actually a sister in Tzu Chi, which I wasn't aware because when she attended the charity concert, she was just wearing normal casual clothing. So I didn't know that. So on the day itself, she was actually she had her very 庄严旗袍 just to welcome me. Yeah, so then she was actually on duty on the day at Tai Tai. So she actually how should I say, she brought me around Tai Tai and then she shared stories with me. So after the tour, or even during the tour, I felt that Tzu Chi is like a place that's filled with so much love. And then I felt that I want to be, the medium to help to share all this goodness by Tzu Chi. So then before I left Taiwan, or before I left Tai Tai, the sister actually told me this thing. She said, when you return to Singapore, quickly join Tzu Chi because 来不及了. And I was like, what does it mean? I understand what she meant by saying join Tzu Chi. That was okay. But when she said 来不及, I was like, question mark. I didn't really understand what she really meant. So now I think I really understand what she meant, especially someone keeps saying that as well. So yes. So there goes. So when in August I joined Tzu Chi, and then with my dad as well. So our very first place was at the Eco Awareness Center. That was a place that I think my dad, that was his happiest days. That's what I felt, because you know he likes to do the dismantling of the wires there. He's like so excited when it comes to that. And then the sisters that we met there, they are so warm, and then they'll always make him laugh, because my dad has this nickname. His nickname is Yen Dao. So whenever a sister address him by this, he will be like so happy about it. Yeah, so I will just follow my dad in whatever that he enjoys doing, because to me, I felt that after I've joined the corporate world, I had very little time for him, even during weekends, because my work requires me to work during weekends. Yeah, just complete, just to meet project timelines. So I felt that somehow or other, the time with my dad is just too little. Yeah, so I'm grateful that I made this decision to take care of my dad. Yeah, for the rest of its life. So thankfully that I did so. Yeah, so then in 2019, when I had the chance, or rather I decided to visit Taiwan again, and then to visit our spiritual home. Yeah, so I was actually very how should I say, I feel very blessed, because I saw this message. It says 一生无量，无量从一生. So then I had this tiny thought that I need to promote and then encourage more people to adopt the plant-based diet, because I myself, I adopted for about 3 years, and then I had experienced the benefit from this diet. So I thought, this diet is so good, but there are so many people who aren't aware about this diet. So I wanted to, just wanted to be the promoter for this. Yeah, so then I actually, how should I say, because most of my close friends, they know that I'm on this diet. So initially they are quite resistant about it. They'll especially some of my colleagues, they will say like, okay, if you're going to this, to have the vegetarian meals, please don't ask me along. So I was like, actually, I was a bit sad initially, but then after that, I just thought, oh, okay, it doesn't matter actually, as long as I have a plate of rice and then with some vegetables, that's good enough. So I can actually join them in any place they want to go, as long as there's one option that's like vegetarian, that's good enough. Yeah, so I had this thought. So then I will still continue to have lunch with my colleagues who are not on this diet. So then as the years goes by, they are just so easy on me. That's what I felt. Especially my close friends, they will say, hey, where else have these vegetarian meals that are so nice? Please introduce to me, that kind of thing, or bring us along. So that's how I actually try to promote to my friends. And then I felt that these are some ways that we can encourage people who are new to this diet as well. We don't force them, but then we can actually introduce them to places with nice vegetarian food first for start. Then slowly we'll try to pass on the knowledge about how this diet can actually change our health for the better. So then in 2020, actually in 2019, there starts the adversity when my dad actually had occasional falls. Then actually his most serious fall occurred when I was out for home visit. So that was when he was diagnosed with dementia. But, 3 months later, he was up, able to stand up again from the serious fall. So this was this was at HYC in Singapore, where it was the opening of HYC. I was really very grateful that my dad continued to stay with me for another few more years. Yeah. So then in 2020, from then onwards, COVID broke out, and then we were forced to stay at home. Especially my family members, they are very concerned for my dad and myself. So they actually said, "Oh, please don't go out." Yeah, so that was like something like out of care and concern lah. That's what I felt. But then I felt that this actually restricted our mobility, and then also affected my dad's health. So then my dad actually, he couldn't sleep well at night, and he was like very bored. So the only place that we can actually go to is like the park nearby my place. Then I try to think of ways to keep my dad entertained and active at home. So then because when we were at the Eco Awareness Center, we will actually try to sort out the papers, and then to try paper cutting as well. So then I'll encourage my dad to say, hey, at least we try paper cutting. So actually he doesn't like doing this. So I'll just try to, sit by his side, and then I'll do it with him so that he won't feel so bored. But then he still doesn't like it. So he'll just do it for a while. So then I'll still think of other things to keep it entertained, like, playing balls with him. And then sometimes cooking, I'll ask him to join me, and then doing baking and stuff like that. Yeah. Then even though we are locked down at home, then I find that the virtual is a wealth of wisdom. So it's a matter of whether we want to cherish the opportunity and affinity. So very blessed that we had this 熏法香 platform, yeah, that we set up in early, I can't remember the exact date, but then it was like shortly after COVID broke out. We had this Zoom sharing, and then we will actually have a 熏法香 daily. So thankful that I started this habit as well with the Singapore team. Then there were trainings conducted by Tzu Chi Taiwan, so I'll actually attend them as well. So yeah, so from there, I think I learned a lot. And then training by the 真善美团队 in Singapore as well. Then for myself, I'll actually use the app, the NLB app in Singapore. It's an ebook platform, so I actually read up on like nutrition and China studies and plant-based diet. So besides that, I'll watch a YouTube video such as those that are on Dark Eye channel, and then videos by PCRM, which are more about medical topics. So I think through all this, I started to have another perspective about promoting plant-based diet. So yeah, so grateful that sometimes we don't just keep on dwelling on adversity. So then I'll make use of the time when my dad is resting. I'll try out like baking and stuff like that. Especially I'm a I'm a sponsor for our Jingzi products. So I actually try out different like Jingzi powders to produce vegan pastries, and then to make like vegan scrambled eggs and stuff like that. Yeah, so these are the time that I'll make use to for this few years. Yeah. So then because I know a lot of people find that plant-based diet is very boring and stuff like that. So I'll try to make the meals look appealing, and then I'll actually share them on my social media. But then sadly, it's because some of my friends, they don't really use it a few years later. So then I stopped sharing all this. I only share it on my WhatsApp for friends who are still in close contact with me. When I cook something that looks decent, I'll share with them. Yeah, then they'll ask me, sometimes if they are keen, they'll ask me for the recipe and stuff. Yeah. So then there comes the chance to promote love. So I'm actually very happy that I had the opportunity to join the Singapore team Challenge 21 Days in 2021. Yeah, so then at that point of time, I remember that the care team was very empty. Nobody was in there. So I actually didn't know what to do in the team. But then I felt that somebody needs to be in the team. So I just joined. Yeah. Then, from there, then I find that it's really a great opportunity to create connection with the public and city. Because we need to like contact them to share about the information about Challenge 21. And then sometimes if we have the chance to call them, we can actually chat a lot of things. Sometimes if they are willing, they even share their stories with me. So I think this is really a chance for us to open up their hearts as well. Yeah, so some of them, I would say sometimes we just have to be appreciative of whatever that happens in our life. And then every affinity is really a chance to how should I say, create kindness and love. Yeah, that's what I felt. So then, yeah, so grateful to have our team around. And earlier this year, just a few months ago, then in January, the first day, I actually made a wish secretly again. It's a tiny wish. I thought, yeah, then I just wanted to have like more time to continue with like city activities with my dad. However, in February 2023, my dad, I just received a call from the daycare center to say that my dad was breathless. And then he was admitted to the A&E. Yeah, then just, yeah, he didn't really stay for long. So I guess it's a relief for him. Yeah, that, because he was actually, I think he was towards the final stage of dementia. Yeah. So when I visited him in the hospital, he was actually with an oxygen mask. And then he looked at me, and then, yeah, then I think he wanted to say something to me, but he just couldn't voice out. So I reached out my hand to him. He just held on to my hand very tightly for quite a while. And then I think he was waiting for my siblings to visit him as well. So he continued to hang on for a few more hours. And yeah, finally, like the next day, he just passed. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so then after my dad, after my dad passed on, I guess this was like his best gift for me. I guess he knows what I want to do. So yeah, so after that, in Singapore we have this veggie diet promotion store at HYC. So whenever there's activity, I'll try my best to join. Yeah, and also there are photography missions. I love that as well. And duty at Tzu Chi Cafe. And then yeah, so basically I just continue my norm at Tzu Chi. Yeah. So then I'll just like attend the trainings and then the home visits and then the sustainability activities in Singapore. So yeah. So the thoughts that I had was that we can actually spread love like the dandelions. So from the sutra, there's this verse that I read. It says, "Enlighten nature, open up true nature, which is our wisdom would be vast as the ocean." For this part, I think I'm still learning from a lot from our brothers and sisters and master. Yeah, and may all these seeds be planted into the hearts of all. Yeah, so because dandelion, they are really very tiny, and then I think for myself, I think I need to like 缩小自己 so that we can be the seed of love in the other person. Yeah, that's what I felt because we are all connected. Yeah. And yeah, so from this adversity, or rather, I find that regardless of what we face or experience in our daily life, yeah, It's actually if we can have a grateful heart for everything, I think it's actually it's a form of strength for our soul. And then yeah, you open up a person's heart and it creates opportunities as well. So I really 感恩 all brothers and sisters for their love and care for me and my dad all these years. And then 感恩 master, 感恩 brothers and sisters from various parts of the world for attending and listen attentively. And well, end of my sharing. 感恩